Hello, Ben.
Hi, Brother Octavia or Olivia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm surviving here. How has your week been?
It's been a good week. Who was recording last time? Was it you?
Last time was Brother Lonnie. Lonnie was recording last time.
That's right. This weekend, right?
Say that again?
He's getting married this weekend?
Yeah, to Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. The first time we met, they were on the same camera, and I thought that they were already married, and they're like, nope, we're engaged. So
how did you like the case this week?
it was an interesting one. I have been an employer before and had to hire people based on interviews.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was some bits of it that I was, well aware of.
Yeah.
But not actually being in the interview. So there's a lot of, facial recognition, body language, all that I wasn't, I'm like, who am I really supposed to hire here? I go with my gut sometimes.
Yeah.
Hi, Keston.
Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Pretty good. This is your first week with our group, correct?
This is.
All right, buckle up.
That's right. You got to buckle up, man.
I saw some of the comments that this is a very exciting group, so.
We just are very vocal, I guess you could say. That's really all it is. Hi, Lisa.
Hey.
How have you been?
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
So I'm assuming that you guys don't have a camera?
I do, actually. I am fixing it.
Oh.
Give me just a second.
Hi, Rebecca.
There you are.
Now we have pressure since you said that we were I forget what you described us as. This group isn't for the faint of heart or something like that, right?
No. You guys, no pressure, okay? Don't think that you have to perform for.
He's in a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. He's okay.
That's right. I'm
definitely a little nervous, to be honest.
Who?
Keston, my first week here.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
This is a great group, Keston.
Hey, Ben, how was your first week at the new job?
It's been great.
Good.
There's a little bit where I'm like, I am way in over my head already because I'm still getting trained.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying every second of it so far.
Good.
It's been a while since I've been at a desk, though.
Oh, yeah, that'll be an adjustment.
And so, I used to do it for a while, but after just the first day back at a desk after, 3 or 4 years of labor, 2 hours in, I'm like, I gotta stand up. I can't just sit here.
Well, I wonder if the about to be married Catherine and Lonnie are going to show up or not.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. They're getting married tomorrow.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent, though. We'll have to see. They usually would say something if they don't make it.
Yeah, I agree.
Last week they were saying that they would be here.
Yeah.
Like it was no big deal. Like, we're only getting married. What's the big deal? Like, okay.
Priorities, right?
Yeah.
Group meeting first.
Yeah.
They did say they wouldn't be kissing on camera once they're married, though, so that's good.
That's right.
All the PDA stops after they're married. I think they got something a little mixed up here. We'll give them a few more minutes before we start. Well, sorry, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I was just going to say, I vote we start.
Oh, okay. I'll give them until 8:05.
I'm just so anxious to know who you guys would hire.
Mainly because I'm still pulling up the case study. So.
I know. And only because I just finished pulling it up.
We're missing Ryan too, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we are.
Oh, right. Because Keston's here. There's one more person. Yeah.
Since Keston's here, we were supposed to vote someone off the island, so.
I think Ryan drew the short straw, I guess.
Keston, where are you from?
I'm from Idaho Falls.
Oh, nice. My sister lives there.
Is this your first week like in the class, or were you transferred from another group?
No, I was in a different group, but I could just never get a hold of them, so we never ended up meeting. So I messaged Brother Avila, and I was like, I need another group, and this is what I got. So
he gave you the best. What a great.
He's like, I need to calm this group down.
Yeah.
Why don't you join them?
Yeah.
I'm the
I'm
mediator.
gonna say now you won't be able to stop us from contacting you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. Does everyone have all of their notes up, everything like that, ready to go? Or got your brain all turned on, I guess, is all you need.
I keep changing my mind though on who I'm hiring, even though I already turned in my paper.
I was going to say, we already you're supposed to have chosen. I'll make sure you go first then. No.
Well, isn't there like a transition period where you can let him go if you made the wrong call? I'm still in that probationary period.
Okay.
It only costs $1 million.
All right, well, let's start with a prayer. And let's see. Lisa, would you be willing to do that for us?
Sure.
Thank you.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day and for the opportunity we have to join as a group and discuss our class. And please bless us that we will have a good class and learn from each other and be able to contribute to the conversation in a respectful way. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
And
so we're going to do this a little bit different. We're a role play here. We are the HR department that Stephen passed all these documents over because he didn't want to make the choice. So we're going to have to make a choice for him. We're going to go over each of the candidates in turn, and just as a general group, I'd like to talk about their pros and cons. The first candidate, yes.
Then if it's okay, I would like to know before we do any of that, who would you hire? Each one of you. Let's just start with, I want to know what your decision is, and then we'll go into if that's okay.
Sure. So my personal decision was Sonia.
Okay. Keston?
I chose David Hughes.
Okay. Lisa? Oh, we can't hear you.
Hi, Ryan.
Who'd you choose, Lisa?
I chose Sonia. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Now we can.
Yeah, I chose Sonia.
Okay, that's okay. Rebecca?
I almost chose Sonia, but I went with Seth.
Okay, so we have Seth, we have Sonia, we have, I think we have them all, right? David?
I don't think anyone chose Gerard.
Yeah, if anybody chooses that, I'm going to give him an F.
I didn't choose that. Sorry, I came in about 5 minutes late.
Okay, so who did you choose?
I chose Sonia.
Okay, so we have 2 for Sonia, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
3 of us. Lisa, Ryan, and I.
Okay, so before, okay, now that we know who you chose, Can somebody give me a really strong case for why we should hire anybody?
I think
mean, if you guys read the other document, right? Harvard Business Review.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know if you read that article. Why would you hire anybody?
So personally, I did not choose Sonia because she was an up-and-coming star. It was her attitude towards the job that
No. You're choosing one of the 4. 5.
Right.
So I'm saying, why any of them?
And why didn't we choose Rena?
That's right.
Right.
Why are you choosing to hire from the outside? Convince me of why you're doing that if you read the article.
I know that the article says, when you hire outside, that they're significantly less likely to be successful. But yet, I felt like Connor couldn't choose Rena because his boss didn't think he had it. And that pressure kind of prevented him from choosing her even if he wanted to. It was my feeling. It's why I kind of eliminated her, even though the article said what it said.
Oh, okay. What about the rest of you?
went with a similar thing. I think the biggest case I had not to hire her was the peers that were on the same level. The other people who were in charge of the other analysts were asking when you're going to hire somebody else, and his boss was also like, why, who are you going to hire besides her? So that's why I chose that.
Okay.
So this is where I've gone back and forth. I chose Sonia and Rena to work closely together. I think that they could both learn from each other. But then I went to work and I observed how I would feel if someone from the outside was hired to be promoted over me. And that's where I'm really struggling. Because I think if you hire from the outside, that's when that's when I think Rena goes to look for another job because she doesn't feel like there's advancement for her.
Okay.
It's a tough situation.
Okay. Keston?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Lisa on that. And that's kind of the reason why I picked David, because he has the most experience out of everyone. And I feel like he would be a good teacher to Rena. They talked about how David was really old, and so he's probably retiring here soon. But I feel like he could teach Rena to position her to take the next step and be able to fill his job whenever he retires.
Okay. It was your reasoning why you guys chose to ignore the article.
First, my decision. I don't think it was ignoring the article when I was reading it. I know that there was a lot of. First off, the article itself gave a couple of reasons why perhaps you should hire from the outside, but that's not even what I'm discussing. It talked about the concern of stars moving on, being so being so good at what they do and where they're at, and then moving them makes them complacent or unable to for myriad of reasons, including office dynamics and work environment. But from what I understand from the case study, Rena is already having some of those difficulties within the very same office she is already working in. I feel that Stephen definitely had a misstep in not giving her an interview during this interview process. She should have had an opportunity to move up just like everyone else. But the simple covering should have been more. I mean, she should have had an opportunity to interview as well and go through the same process as everybody else. But yeah, based on. Go ahead.
Was Stephen wrong by letting Peter go?
I kind of think he should have tried. I think he should have tried. Why not?
You think Peter should have tried? Is that what you mean?
No, I think Connor should have tried to give him, raise his pay or something, because he said he thought about it, but he just decided not to. And maybe he felt Peter had made up his mind because they gave him no notice. It was like, I'm out of here, And so maybe he's like, you know what? I don't really want to deal with someone who doesn't even give me notice. But what would it have hurt to at least try?
Yeah.
So did it say he didn't give notice or that he had to leave? Because usually when you're in a job and if you go to like a competitor or somewhere of a similar role, they let you go immediately so you don't take secrets back and forth. But
so the second paragraph under engaging a recruiter says Peter Thompson just quit without any notice.
Okay.
Announced abruptly.
And then on the first paragraph, it talks about how Connor thought about, should I keep him? Should I try to talk to him?
Right.
And then he decided, he said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
It was an option.
On the analyst rankings, Peter Thompson is number 3.
Yeah.
And he's the old top 50. So if you're not willing to give that guy the extra money or whatever he wants, like, I think there's a problem there.
So, it even says in the case study that he could have given him more money. He had some room to compensate him better. And I think after he left, he was kind of like, oh no, maybe I should have done it. Or maybe I should have gave him the raise.
Okay, so according to the other article, what is the percentage rate of success of bringing another star?
30%.
Where do you get that from?
The article, or maybe that was the supplemental article.
3 out of 24?
Oh, I thought it said 30% success. Oh, wait, no, that's 70% comes from the firm.
That's right.
Sorry, 30% is their own.
70% success of any star, they believe, comes from the company.
Yeah.
And the article was very specific to this industry, investment banking. It was not like they're talking about in general, you have a CEO. It was very, very specific, targeting this particular individual or, the industry that we're talking about. So very, very relevant, I thought.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's why I chose Seth, because he was just a runner-up. He wasn't a star, right? Because this isn't a star like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I went with Seth. I was like, okay, so technically he's not really a star. That's why I hired him.
But he comes in with a runner-up, right?
He was the runner-up, and immediately he was looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I was a little worried about Seth when the good, here's my good reviews.
Yeah.
But it's, it's kind of like, well, maybe he just had a good year, maybe he had some good picks, but.
Okay. So I guess what I'm getting to is you guys are being hired to be consultants, advisors. And you have this knowledge about what happens with stars. And that's what they're going to pay you to do. So your job is to advise this guy to say, what am I going to do? And you're going to say, well, I'm going to have you hire somebody, and you have 1/8 of a percent that you're going to be successful. So how is he going to increase those odds? Maybe you have a reason that says, well, 3 out of the 24 were successful. Why were those 3 successful? And I think the article talked about those. So here's what the companies did. Blah, 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 blah. If you compare that to the company that RHS, how do they match with those requirements or those things that make those companies that are able to integrate those stars into their companies successfully? Because if they have those things, then absolutely, then you're right on. Your recommendation can be, sure, bring a star, and here's the 3 things that your company's doing right. that you're going to have to do these 2 other things that are going to help you, or even if he's going to bring in, you got to have these 5 things, which you do not have. You don't have training, you don't have, all of these things, so that at least they're aware, and you're helping them to make a better decision by having more information. Is Rena the right person? I don't know. Is there somebody else? Is there somebody else in the company they can grow to become a star? There might be other options besides, Rena, and I don't know. But I, that's the discussion that I want. Before we get into the individuals, what impact did the article have on you? And it seemed that all of you just kind of, whatever. It's there, but we're still gonna hire somebody because Rena is not a good fit, maybe.
I don't think I discounted the article offhand.
Okay.
The information within the article is a reason why I did not choose many of the people on the list, particularly Seth. Well, Gerard's I wouldn't have hired him for many reasons, but Seth and what was that other choice?
David?
David, yeah. A lot of the things in that article about their environments that they came from and what they'd be coming into, there's a lot of disparity there, which caused a lot of issues, according to the article, that would have made them falter at RSH. And so that's why I did not choose them.
Mm-hmm.
And back to my choice, Seth, he was a good stock analysis. He was a good stock picker. And the article said that, when they focused on those types of people, they didn't actually suffer many distractions when they changed companies. So that was one little thing he had going.
Okay.
I don't know about Seth personally, and I'm not trying to argue with you for that sake, but
Okay.
I really feel that Connor hardcore missed a step there. He even, like, in the case study, he's like, I wonder why Craig never talked to me about him. And then nothing. He doesn't even talk to Craig about it. The first thing I would have done is been like, Craig, what about this guy? I trust you to do this. Did you have him on your list? And if so, why is he not on your list anymore? But I mean, my issue with Craig with Seth is a lot of the question marks, not necessarily that he can't bring great stuff to the team, but there's too many unknown variables there.
Well, I think Sonia has a lot of unknown variables too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's a lot. Go ahead.
I think that it would have been nice. I think I made an assumption not an assumption. They should post internally. I feel like I know that my work, they post internally for a period of time before they even open anything up externally. I feel like they completely went just immediately to the outside.
A good point.
Which can cause serious issues with morale internally.
Yeah. But maybe that's not how they do things, because everyone was expecting, no one said anything like that. No one came forward. No one was like buying for it. I mean, if I was in there and I wanted this position, I'd be going to Connor.
And I totally would have hired you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Rena's attitude during that meeting that they had, I know he's her boss, so there's this, concern that comes in those environments. But her lack of doing just that is one of the reasons why I passed up on her.
Okay.
This is a very driven environment, and she's just like, okay, yeah, go hire someone else mentality. She didn't say it, she wasn't thinking it, but that's just the persona that she was giving off to Connor.
She's not confident.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that had to do because it's a team environment? the company focuses so much on teamwork. I mean, the guy leaving, he was getting too competitive for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is a good reason why I wouldn't have kept him.
So is that being aggressive? Is that maybe in the culture a no-no?
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing for them to ask for advice or what do you think about this? But I don't think that Rena is very confident when she was, giving presentations and those.
Can I get a clarification? Did you say confident or competent?
I guess both. Both. I said I don't think she is very confident, but
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
she
think
was
it's-
always trying to get information from the other senior analysis. I don't think she was probably that competent or confident for the position.
I think it would be hard to be confident in that position when it seems like all of her superiors aren't confident in her.
That is
And maybe-
true. There's a good
Maybe
reason.
that's just like her lack of experience. Like she's only been there for a little bit. Maybe she does have the potential to move up, but like it's hard when nobody else is believing in you, you know?
The other thought I was having for this company, and this isn't for all companies, but I just kind of had this thought for RSH. There's a difference between the environmental atmosphere that they perceive of themselves having and then what actually exists. Stephen might think that there's this wonderful team attitude because that's his vision he's projecting on. But the actual environment which exists in the office might not feel that way to those in it. I'm not sure Rena, there's nothing either way. It was just a gut feeling I was having where it is slightly competitive even within the environment, even though they want a completely wholehearted team environment going.
I didn't get the sense that it was too competitive. I got the sense that there was good teamwork and good morale. Is the feeling I got. But
Have those Monday morning meetings where everybody shows up and everybody's trying to encourage and help each other.
yeah,
Why then were so many of them not happy with Rena's work?
you either can or can't. You're either a star or you're not. Remember, what was the boss's name? Didn't have it.
yeah.
So who is not happy with her?
Well, let me pull up. I thought I read it in the case study. A
Jim,
couple
wasn't his name
people
Jim or something.
contacted Stephen about her.
I think it was only Steven's boss.
Hmm,
Oh,
let's see.
but yeah, I guess he also got a couple of phone calls, right? Or
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
from
he
the
got
other.
when are you
John
gonna
Senior
hire somebody?
analyst.
John McNair. And then some of the other senior analysts were just saying, yeah, she's always coming to us kind of a thing. But, I don't know, is that good or bad? I would think it's good, but
Okay, if you're Steven and you're taking this class on leadership, which I hope is doing the right thing, even though your boss maybe is not on board right away, that if you really believe that growing somebody long-term is the right decision, would you at least try to fight for that?
Yeah, I definitely think that Stephen should have. I feel that Stephen has already dismissed her out of hand, Rena, throughout the whole case study. The most strength that he gives to her doing the job is in his very final thoughts. And her question is, what about Rena? She's doing a great job. Should she even be considered? Like, he didn't even consider her throughout his whole interview process.
At first he thought about her, right? She's doing a good job. She's handling stuff. If she was incompetent, she would not be able to handle what was going on.
Right. I believe she's competent. I just don't, she wasn't very confident.
Yeah.
So it talks about hiring when he was looking to hire externally, they would bring their junior analysts with them potentially. Why didn't Peter take Rena with him?
Good point.
he tried. I thought he tried, but then Connor asked her not to. That's what I remember, but I could be wrong. Let me go
I
back.
don't remember that.
But yeah, I mean, in the case, Stephen has to make a decision. First of all, is do I hire from the outside or do I try to grow? That was the first decision that he needs to make.
Yeah.
Right now, his bosses are saying, you got to hire somebody from the outside. But then Steven is hiring you to come and help him out through all of this stuff. That's why he's paying you the big bucks.
I mean, I get the article. I mean, I really, the facts are facts. But yet, when you have a star, they said that's immediately clients flock to you just by having a star as your employee, And again, Seth, he was the one that had good relationships with Power Chip, which is what Peter was working on, and that's what they needed.
Well, I think that's true. That's a very short-term view. People might flock to you initially, but if they can't maintain that, they're going to lose those same customers pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You can pull up everybody, or it'll come up if you talk.
So I had an interesting thing at work. There were 2 open positions for a peer of mine. Well, they hired one internal, one external. And this is why I've been going back and forth about this hiring, because I've been watching, this has just been in the last 6 weeks. And the girl that was hired internally did not have the experience that the external candidate did, but her understanding of the company and the culture and everything else, she's already like way ahead of this external person just from understanding the business and the culture internally. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, considering that, right? How valuable is that? Because the other thing that Stephen was saying is, I need somebody who's competent, but also somebody that is going to be able to fit into our culture. So you can have somebody really competent, but if they don't fit into your culture, then what's the use of having somebody competent? You have to have both.
Just to let you know, Zoom is telling me we have 9 minutes remaining before it's going to shut this down.
Do we need to set up another one?
We can set up another one. It's telling me I have to spend $12.50 to keep it going. So.
Do you not use the BYUI Zoom, Ben?
I thought I was.
Because you can go like for hours on mine.
Yeah.
Not that we would want to, but you can go for hours.
If it is not the BYUI, it only gives you 40 minutes.
Okay, that's what I have, is the 40-minute one, yeah.
It's the free app.
Okay. Well, I have to figure
can't we hang up and call right back in? And it starts over, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was using the wrong one until it told me a second ago.
Okay. So maybe we can do that. And I'm not gonna call back, so you guys can have your discussion.
Well, I want to know who you would hire.
Yeah, me too.
You have 9 minutes to tell us who you would hire.
And why? Come on.
I think that if I was consulting and giving them advice, it would be, what can you do to grow your stars? I mean, what is your long-term vision of this? Do you want to have another star in 2 years that is going to leave you and go through this process again over and over? And it said that it cost them about $1 million to replace a senior analyst.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of money, I think. So I think my counsel to them would be, let's talk about this long term. How do we get there? What are the steps? What do we do in the meantime? Does Rena do you think has the raw material for her to become a star? Does she have those qualities that we can help her grow into them or not? But really seriously consider that and evaluate that. And it might take some selling to the upper management, because that's not their philosophy. to them is just hire somebody right away, get another star, I don't know, whatever it is. So it might be a difficult sell, but I think it's the right thing to do. I think for them long term, it would be a recommendation. So if that's where they want to get, it's like Stephen Covey says, what is the end? Begin with the end in mind. And to me right now, they're just rushing to say, okay, let's replace somebody and let's move on. But where do you want to end up as a company? What is it going to look like in 10 years, 15 years? And if they have that mentality, then maybe it's going to be, maybe we should try to get a mentor for Rena. If that is the best thing short term, if we don't have anybody in-house that can do that,